What's up guys, welcome back to another video, hope you're all doing well today. Today I'm going to be playing a newly released French track, which is on the MX Bike shop, created by Coco. It is called Motocross de Plumion, I believe is how it's pronounced, and I've done a lap already just to make sure I know where I'm actually going and I'm not going all over the track and jumping off here, there and everywhere. And I won't lie, from the video that Coco put on the shop as like a preview and the pictures that I saw of it, the track actually looked like really straightforward and easy, and it's not until you get on it and you have a little bit of a ride around yourself that it's actually quite deceptively technical. There's a few drop-offs here and there, which, as you know, work a little bit funky with the game, so you've really got to be on the ball with how you land in the bike, like nice and straight with the front wheel really high, leaning forwards. The ruts are very well built, I think. They hold you really nicely. There's a few drop-offs and jumps that are a lot shorter than you originally think, and you just have to be really kind of like on the ball with your timing, and he's done a super good job with the rough as well. This is Coco's first ever track, which kind of blows me away because it's really good quality, at least in the little ride around that I've done so far. Please survive that. Oh no. And the bike that I'm riding today is a bit of a handful, I can't lie. It's the Beta 300. Or beta, depending on where you're on in the world. I don't discriminate on the pronunciation, but I will be calling it beta, so if you hate that, I apologise. I can't help it. Oh, lovely little transfer on the downside lap berm. Now, this is a bike that I did not vibe with well whatsoever in Beta 17. I thought that it just felt quite heavy, it felt very sluggish, and I've tried racing it a handful of times, even against just normal 250s, to no real luck. I just found that its handling overall really let it down. So I thought we'd give it a go again today. I've not tried it in Beta 18 yet, or Beta 18 OEMs, and we'll see how it goes. My tyres have gone white again. Now this happened the other day in my saw on whatever you want to call it, weird, outrageous MX Bikes mods video, and I got told that it's because it wasn't on OEMs, but this is on OEMs, and my tyres are still going a bit cummy. So not sure what's going on there. Maybe it's just the Patusta wheels, or Patusta, however you want to pronounce his name. I know it's like P2Is, but he's replaced it with the number 2, and yeah, whatever. That's nonetheless, we're in first person. The tyres don't matter too much. Track, really fun, really enjoyable, and I thought it would just be a nice test, really, to see what the beta can do and see how it's been improved upon since the last beta. I can confirm that it definitely turns a lot nicer than it used to. I've had, well, I mean, in the one opening lap that I'd done before I press record, I did have a couple of them weird MX Bikes moments where the front end tucks and then it kind of just does like a dance around the front end, you know, when you're balancing on your front wheel and you're spinning around in circles. I had a few of them. Maybe that was just me trying to ask a little bit too much of the bike. I think this track, what it does really well is there is an inside and outside in literally every single corner. So if the insides aren't really working for you, or you can't get your bike cranked over, you can just go all the way around the outside and make your life much easier. Right, let's check up on this downhill this time. Lovely. Now I know it's nothing like it whatsoever. Bearing in mind this track is a real track from France. It does give me kind of like Devonish vibes again. I think I mentioned in a video the other day that the track reminded me of like a Devon track here in the UK. Very hilly and just really enjoyable, and I do like hill tracks. Until it gets like, I suppose it depends what time of the day it is. I'm talking about real life here, because at the start of the day, absolutely love the hilly tracks. At the end of the day, when you're trying to hold on for dear life going down them and they're all kind of choppy and you just kind of, I don't know, you just try and survive into the corner and you end up just like slamming into the berm or the rut at the bottom of the hill. I mean, that's when I'm not the biggest fan. But yeah, earlier on in the day when you get to rip it up the hills and like just trail brake going down and have your back end slightly sliding out, I think they're really good fun. I really wish that steep hills in this game worked better than they do. I think that would give like track creators so much more room for creativity, like to actually build proper to scale replicas of super hilly tracks in game. I imagine there's some tracks even on the AMA circuit, like Screw You, Unadilla. We've also got, like, I don't know how steep Mount Martin is really in real life. I've never seen it, but I don't think TV really does it justice. I imagine it's frighteningly steep. I just wish things like that worked better on bikes. It'd just create this extra sense of realism. And I'm recording this video on the 11th of March, which is Saturday. And last night, which was Friday for me, we had the servers going down for another, like, I think it was like an entire hour straight that we had to delay the aerial NA championship for. Which, oh, well, let's go a little bit off topic. I lied. I did stay up, I did race it. However, I done 450, and I really approached it this time from the angle of I do not care where I finish. I'm just staying up playing the game with my Discord buddies, and I actually had quite a fun time. The start in the main event when absolutely, I mean, actually no, both starts went pretty horrific. I tried doing what I'd done in EU, where I just go on the inside gate and check up and hug the inside, but there was just a big old pile up there and I couldn't get through at all. So I started from quite far back, and in the heat I came through and finished in second, which I was happy with, and then in the main I came through and caught up. I was in third place, only 5 seconds behind the lead though. I was charging for the first half, and then the second half, I just kind of fell apart and started crashing loads, which I think I just put down to the late night again. But I didn't get anywhere near as frustrated as I would do if I had expectations or I was competing for points. I was just kind of like happy to be there. So, I mean, I might just stay up and do more of them, but just with the attitude of I don't mind where I finish, I'm just having fun playing the game. Which I feel like should be the mentality all the time, because it is just a game at the end of the day. But I know I do take it way too seriously. So, I mean, I lied in one aspect, that I weren't going to stay up and do them anymore. I can't help myself. I guess I'm a little bit of an addict. But I think the way that I approached it and my mentality towards it was completely different, which really, really helped. So, I'm going to try and implement that moving forwards. In the EU stream that I done, thank you everyone that stopped by on that, by the way, and helped with making the video after it. Really, really appreciate it. I went completely silent for the main event, which is the first time I've ever done it, and I think I'm going to do it more because it just enabled me to concentrate quite a lot. I think I rode quite well. I pulled out the old typical Linz Sexton manoeuvres towards the end of the race, throwing it away a bit. I think I went from, I think I was only like 3 seconds off hurls at one point, not even with that long left to go, and the last 2 or 3 laps, oh god, I crashed maybe like 3 times a lap. It was absolutely awful. Oh god, MX Bikes hills. That's what I mean. That's so frustrating, because that hill there shouldn't be any issue to get up and over that at all. You should just be able to ride up it, check up, no problem. But the reason I crashed there is because I got off of the throttle to slow down for the corner that is right after it. And if you don't shut off the throttle, you just end up yeeting over the berm and going way too far. But that's how you stop yourself from crashing on hills, is by keeping it wide open and leaning back slightly. So I don't know, I don't get it. But so please fix, along with the servers, because they've been hella frustrating for me recently, along with weird front end things, along with God knows what else. There's so many things on this game that I'd just love to have fixed. If it's any sort of consolation, in regards to those server issues that we've been having, even though we've been telling him that we've been having server issues for about 3 weeks, he finally sees it himself. He's noticed that there's something not quite right. What's going to happen to fix that or resolve it, I actually have no idea. But at least he is aware now, even though I feel like he should just take our word for it rather than seeing it himself sometimes, because I don't feel too bad for, like, me, because the races are in the evening. You know, I've got nothing else on to do for that day. If I've committed to the racing, I've got everything like done that I need to do for the rest of the day already. So it doesn't bother me if it's delayed a little bit here and there, unless it is like an NA1 and it's going on until 4 in the morning. Yeah, I went to bed at 4:30 last night after doing that. That's how long it took. But I feel more sorry for the people that organise it all, because they can't do anything about it. You get Discord channels blowing up, like, because people are annoyed. Again, the tracks, or the series creators can't do anything about it. What was that? Hello? See, I'm enjoying this beta so far, except for weird things like that. Oh god, that was the worst way I could have done that. Did I land on anything bad there at all, or is it just had a moment? Let's go. Maybe I landed too low down. Maybe it was just like a really heavy landing. Slow it right down. Slow it down. Slow it down. I mean, oh, I don't know about that. I feel like I should have been able to get away with that. I think I've been done a little bit dirty there. But yeah, I'm vibing with the beta around the corners. But the jumps, it just doesn't seem to agree with. There we go, we've got another hill that we've got to try and get up and over. Oh my Christ. Yeah, but that is one of the biggest things, is front end / hill issues. I think they kind of combine into one. It's just where the front end gets super light, and then the virtual rider, which kind of essentially tries keeping your bars straight, it overcompensates for the turn, so then it kind of twitches back and forth over and over and over again until it eventually goes straight, or you just like flop onto the ground, really. I feel like a lot of the time, if I ever do get a little bit wild, I'll just let go of my steering altogether. Just let the bike do its own thing until it eventually wants to go in a straight line again. But then I found it works. Sometimes it works a little bit like Sim. You know, on where Sim you fall over super easily and you just flop over. Every now and then you might barely tap someone, feel like you're okay, and then a second after you've hit someone, you try to turn and you flop over again because that, I don't know, that crashing effect is still in effect. And I feel like that happens on bikes too sometimes, where you go through the whole wobble phase, the bike settles itself down, then you go again, and it still topples over anyway. It's definitely a hard one to try and combat. I don't know the best way of avoiding it at all. Well, at least we landed that one fine. Let's try going outside, inside here, because I've gone inside, outside nearly every lap. Really nice, really smooth and flowy. I think that it surprises me when I see tracks on the shop when the description says this is my first track. I'm like, okay, this has got to be some good quality then, because all of the tracks on the shop do get vetted beforehand. They all get tested by, I think, a couple of people to see if they are of high enough quality. And I mean, Coco's done a very good job here. I saw a few progress pictures throughout the months of this being done. I didn't know that it was anywhere near this level of completion, and I mean, it looks really, really nice. It does give me it gives me like super local vibes, but that's to be expected. I don't think it's like a massive scale track by any means. I am a little bit lacking in my knowledge of French tracks, if I'm completely honest, unless it's like Saint-Jean-d'Angely or Ernée. I probably haven't heard of him. Yeah, I think he's done a really, really good job here, and this is the sort of track that I could very easily see people doing like 125 race series on. There's no jumps on this track that are difficult by any means. You just got to remember the timing for each one. I think more of them need scrubbing than sending, so that's always a good sign for the smaller bikes. And just tracks like these, I think they really thrive on two strokes. I feel like, I don't know what it is. I've been feeling the two strokes recently. I won't lie, I do kind of miss the Beta 17 ones a little bit, because I do get some weird and wonderful handling moments on these newer ones, whether it's front end issues or the bike just feeling like quite stiff and like it doesn't want to turn. But I think that's more on the 250 two-stroke side of things. The 125s I'm actually really enjoying, and I mean this Beta 300, I guess you can kind of put it in the same category as the 250s. It does have different engine mappings. I think one's like an enduro mode and one is normal race mode, so maybe I should try this out around the Krackenberg at some point in enduro mode. Who knows, we'll see how that goes. My enduro video that I posted the other day, actually, the Max Road one, done really, really well. I was getting, this is going to be quite sad to say, but I feel like I kind of let you guys into most things behind the scenes YouTube wise. So whenever you post a video on YouTube, you see a stat next to it, which is it shows you how well the video does out of 10. And that 10 is your last 10 videos, how well is this video doing out of those 10. So if you get a 1 out of 10 on a video, you're loving life. It's the best video out of the last 10 videos you've done. It's getting loads of views, it's doing really well. If you get a 10 out of 10, it's an absolute stinker. You know, nobody's clicking on it. It's the worst out of the last 10 videos you've done, and you can't wait until the day's over and you can try again the next day. Now, the last week or so, I've been having a lots of like 8s, 9s, 10s, and it was a little bit demotivating, if I'm honest. It was kind of affecting my mood for the day, which is really sad to say, but I do look at those numbers quite a lot. So to see that enduro video go up after the pain and suffering that it caused me, that was not an enjoyable video to make whatsoever. And it was a 1 out of 10. So thank you everyone that clicked on that. I do appreciate it. Definitely boosted my mood for the day. Made me a bit more of a happy camper, but hopefully I can keep that up. I don't know if you would have seen it already. Maybe it's coming up in the next day or two. It depends how far I get, because I plan on recording some of it again today. Is a shootout of the 252 strokes, and then I'll kind of work my way through the bikes, whether it's the 125s or the 450s and so on, and I'll do a separate video for each kind of class. But I'm trying to be a little bit more creative and imaginative and in-depth with videos now. I feel like ones like this every now and then are okay, where it's purely a hop on a new track, ride and have a chat. But I think now and then you need to push the boat out a little bit, spend a good amount of time on video, editing it, putting it together, and it kind of shows. So thank you very much for all the support on that. I probably am going to wrap it up there. Final thoughts on this track. I think it looks really nice. I love how bright the grass is around the outside. The track decals are nice. I'm on One Road at the moment, and the road's going really well. This one hill, if there's one thing I could change, it's that, because the MX Bike's physics really do mess you up from time to time on it. The rough is perfect. Really, really good job on the rough. I wish more tracks would implement this level of base rough rather than just trying to rely on the road to do it all for them. Jump scaling is pretty good. Definitely suits the smaller bikes. And thoughts on the beta? I don't know if I'm fully sold on it. I feel like it turns really well. It turns much better than the Beta 17 beta did, but the front end is a little bit hit and miss. I can't lie to you. I don't know if that's just I'm asking too much of it by jumping off of some of these hills or pushing it a bit deep into the corners, but I feel like there's definitely been a few moments in this video that if I was riding a different bike, definitely could have been avoided. So take that as you wish, but overall, the beta's an improvement, the track's really nice, and yeah, really, really fun one to make. So thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy it, please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new, as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. Have a lovely rest of the day, whatever it is you're up to. I'll catch you in tomorrow's video. Peace.